Tonight, Local 6 has learned that George, Cindy, and Lee Anthony will be forced to answer questions about the babysitter that Casey claims took her daughter Kaylee. It's all because of a lawsuit filed by Zenaida Gonzalez. Meantime, Casey has 30 days to answer her own questions in connection with that suit. But which questions could she be forced to answer? Mike DePorst is live now with what could be some very revealing statements. Mike.
Well, Jackie, Zenaida Gonzalez's attorneys acknowledge Casey Anthony may not be able to answer all of these questions. After all, the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution protects criminal defendants from having to testify against themselves. But Zenaida's attorneys feel that Casey will be forced by a judge to at least answer some of these.
Is this Zenaida Gonzalez, the lady you told the police about? We want to clear her name.
As part of Zenaida's defamation lawsuit against Casey Anthony, Zenaida's attorneys are demanding that Casey answer a list of 29 written questions, including, were you involved in the death of Kaylee? Do you know who killed Kaylee? And do you admit the story you told law enforcement that Kaylee was with someone named Zenaida Gonzalez the last time you saw her is not true?
I wouldn't let my client answer most of them.
Attorney Diana Tennis, who is not associated with the Anthony case, thinks it's unlikely the judge will force Casey to answer such questions as how many children did Zenaida have, what were the children's names, what kind of car did she drive, and did she have any tattoos? Tennis believes such questions would violate Casey's constitutional Fifth Amendment right to not incriminate herself in her felony case.
If her answers in any way could be used against her, and frankly, all of these answers could be used against her, she has the right to say thank you, but no thank you. I prefer not to answer.
Tennis thinks the only exception might be to show Casey this image of Zenaida and ask, is the person in the attached photo the Zenaida Gonzalez you claim had Kaylee the last time you saw her?
The questions that have to do with, is this the Zenaida Gonzalez that you accused? You say no, you're not. No, that isn't her. No, that's not her picture. And you leave it at that and don't answer the rest.
But if Casey refuses to answer, the judge could find her in contempt of court.
Worst case scenario, you owe this woman some amount of money for the damage that's been done to her reputation. That is so not her biggest fish to fry right now. She needs to be concentrated on this criminal case.
And Casey Anthony's civil attorney tells Local 6 that Casey will likely answer only two of those questions, her name and the date. Now, after this questionnaire is completed, it will go back to the judge. The judge will review all the questions and determine whether Casey, in fact, should be forced to answer them or whether that Fifth Amendment protection applies and she wouldn't have to answer them. Now, that same Fifth Amendment protection would not hold true for George, Cindy, and Lee Anthony. All three of them are scheduled to be deposed to give a sworn statement to Zenaida's attorneys about 3 weeks from now. They will not be able to plead the Fifth because there's no known criminal investigation into them, so they're going to have to answer all the questions, likely about how long did they know about this babysitter Zenaida? Had they ever met her? Did they know where she lived? Did they really believe that Casey left their child with Zenaida? That's the very latest reporting live at the Orange County Courthouse. Mike DePorst, Local 6.
And the meter reader who found Kaylee Anthony's remains is getting off the streets and has been given a new job. Actually, Roy Cronk hasn't been out reading meters at all since the day he discovered those remains. Cronk's attorney tells Local 6 he started a job doing inventory control with Orange County Utilities. It is a slight bump in pay, and Cronk had actually applied for the job before he was thrust into the spotlight. Tonight at 11 only on Local 6, find out how much taxpayers spend on the attorney Cronk had to hire, and it's all for just 2 weeks of work.